It's very frustrating.
Yeah, I agree. Hi, Harriet.
Hi, how are you?
Okay.
Good. There we go. And I forgot to do my homework.
Well, I'm not a homework doer, so I'm
Naughty, you get detention.
No, Lael will go over all the lessons first, and that helps us do homework who didn't do homework. Harriet, do you ever see Fiona? Fiona Wickstead.
Which Fiona?
Wickstead. I'm
No,
sure
I don't know Fiona Wickstead.
I think she knows probably a good friend of yours. I think that's where I'm getting confused. She's a psychologist. Don't worry about it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so we are load shedded tonight.
Yeah.
Shame, it's so cold.
Yeah.
I'm frozen. Marlene, are you using your laptop or your phone if you're load shedding?
No, I'm using the laptop at the moment for as long as we'll have our modem, but
The
we're
modems
trying.
usually have a couple of hours in them. Mine doesn't have it because the laptop's too old.
We're trying anyway. We're trying.
Good. Good.
And I've told Lael in advance. Okay. I've told Lael in advance in case we get out in the middle of nowhere. Hello, everybody.
I don't know why Reva Foreman doesn't show me. There's another Reva Foreman here, Jacob.
No, it's just double vision.
That's not me. I don't have a blue and white king there. Go away.
I don't see it at all anyway. We don't see you at all. I can see Harold and Harriet and Ilbra and Robin. And that's all.
Okay.
And now I can see all kinds of, oh God, that was books that I've got here that we see.
Oh, I know what. Jacob, Michael.
We sing France Connier.
Why?
We sing France Connier.
You sing books. How do I?
Because your phone's gone on to the opposite to the selfie mode. It's gone to looking out, perhaps.
Okay, I'm going to click off and come back in.
Okay, and I don't see Lael yet.
No, it's just right.
Hello there. Hello.
I'm very, very sorry, everybody.
No problem. Thanks.
Peter has just messaged me to say that they've got load shedding.
And we've got it.
You've got it, and I'm very sorry to be late. I got a call from my boss. I couldn't leave the office quickly enough to get home in time. But here I am, and we're going to go for it. Hi, Harriet. Hi, Robs. Hi, everybody. Hi, Harold. Hi, Marion.
Hi, Lael.
You look nice and warm there.
I am. I'm warm.
So, Jacob, I heard Reva saying she's going to go in and out, but as soon as you're able to let me share, then I will.
Reva's phone did something, but Robin knew what it was and helped her. Thank you.
Fabulous. Good. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So hello, everybody. Welcome. Sorry about being late. Looking forward to the lesson. Sorry for those who are on load shedding, and I hope to catch up with Peter just now. So I sent around some homework, and I hope people have had a chance to do it, because you know how it is with learning anything. It's like an accumulation. You're building up your knowledge. So on that note, I'm going to do a quick revision, a quick one than I did last time, but just that every time we make sure. Ma, won't you mute there, please, Ma?
Sorry.
Okay, so we're just going to make sure that we all remember everything from before. So lesson 1 was ba, sha, ta. It was just the one vowel or the.
Back and joined you, Lel. Sorry, we got lost. So I don't know, did you introduce the meeting?
Not really. I just apologize for being late. Go for it, Reva.
Well, just in case anyone joins us late on Zoom, here is a very quick and very, very brief welcome. Temple Israel, Hillbrow, Johannesburg, South Africa welcomes you to our, I think, fourth lesson, but with our excellent teacher, Lel Bethlehem, in Hebrew. Over to you, Lel.
Thank you, Reva. Thanks a lot. Fantastic. So we are doing a quick revision of where we've come from. Lesson 1. Ba, sha, ta. We learned the bet, the shin and the taf, and we learned the vowel that says ah, that sounds like ah as in up, or Shabbat. It has two forms. It has the form that looks like a little T, or it just has the flat line. They both say ah. So from that, you learned not only those sounds, but you learned to combine. The b plus the ah is ba, the sh plus the ah is sha, the t plus the ah is ta, which means you can now read the word Shabbat, which you then learned to do. And you also learned to read a couple of other sounds because you could now put things together. So let me just see if I can get that across onto the screen. There it is. So you learned how to put those sorts of sounds together. So as in line 8, Shabbat, bat, Shabbat, shush, and Shabbat. So that was the first lesson in Hebrew reading. So then we came to lesson 2. And in lesson 2, we learned the following consonants. We learned the very strange and unusual letter Aleph, the first letter of the Hebrew alphabet, which is a silent letter. It exists to enable the vowel because the vowel doesn't have its own life. It always sits with a letter. So there you have the Aleph, which is an enabler. It enables the vowel to be said. We've already learned the Bet, which has the strong ball, the B, the dot in the middle being kicked in your tummy, strong sound B. And we learned that without that dot, it's a nice soft sound V. Then we learned the Gimel, the G, which has a gap at the bottom, and the Daled, which some people say looks like a door. And then all we did is we learned how to combine those with our vowels. And we also learned some new vowels. And the new vowels that we learned were I, which is just the individual dot underneath. And then if it's combined with the yud or the little apostrophe afterwards, it makes it a longer sound, E, as in E, B, V, G, D, she, T, and E. So then you are now learning to say not only these letters, but you're learning two new vowels, the E and the E. So that's what we learned there. Then you all demonstrated that you could read these words over here, some of them now quite long and sophisticated. So as in line 6, Dag, where the Aleph is just silent, Da'av, Da'ag, Dibat, and Dag. And line 7 and 8, Tavi, Tashav, Shav, Tashiv. And line 8, Shavit, Shavat, Bashabat, and Shabbat. So, Kesia is just joining us. Welcome, Kesia. We're still on revision, so you are all fine. So that was lesson 2. And hopefully by the end of that, you could read lines 6, 7, and 8 without trouble. Any questions so far on what we covered up to so far in lesson 2? If no questions, then we got on to lesson 3. Lesson 3 is quite intense because we learn a lot of letters and we also learn a new vowel. So quite a lot going on there. These are the letters we learnt. Hey, ha, with the little hole. The, And we said, hang on a second, I learned va already. There it is. No, we learned another va now. That's the vet. That's the vav. They both say va. They say exactly the same, va. Then we've got the zayin, which looks a little bit like the vav. The chet, which looks like the hay, but instead of a hole at the top, it's closed. And the sound it makes is like a closed throat. Cha, cha. And then we learned the ta, the tough. And you say, oh, hang on a second, I learned the tough already. It's over here. Yes, we have got 2 letters in Hebrew which both say ta. So those were your next 5 letters, ha, va, za, cha, and ta. So that's a lot, and that's why we take this particular lesson kind of slow, because we need to make sure that we are able to read all of that. So we had homework last week to be able to read all of these. This is really just combining letters and vowels. If I just do the first 3 of each line, va, 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 tat, tat, tit, cha, ta, cha, chi, ti, va, za, za. So that was just learning to combine these new sounds with the vowels that you already know. And then last week we learned a very interesting vowel which sounds the same whether it has the yud after it or not. It's 2 dots next to one another, and they say a, as in hay. A, in English it would be ay, a as in hay. So that was the latest vowel that we learned. So if I take just the first 3 of these lines, che, he, che, te, ta, te, ze, ve, ze, haze, viz, tev. So that's what we learned, is to combine all of those. And then it's really now a matter of combining all of those things, and homework started here at the bottom of line 21. So I hope that everybody had a chance to read these to yourselves for homework. And where I'm going to start now is I am going to go through these lines 1 to 6 that are on the screen now. And I will definitely appreciate anyone who's willing to volunteer to read them. And in the absence of volunteers, I'll read, and you can just see whether you are saying the same thing as me. But I hope everyone had a chance to look at these. Can I have a volunteer for line 1 if there's a volunteer?
I'll go.
Thank you, Robs.
Aviv,
Good.
Baviv, Gaviv,
Good.
Aviv,
Good.
Av.
Excellent. Thank you. Brilliant on line 1. Anybody willing to do line 2?
I'll go.
Thank you, Rita.
Okay. Ata,
Good.
it's pretty small. Eza,
Good.
Ada,
Good.
Ata,
Good.
Ave,
Ava.
Ava, sorry,
Good.
Ava,
Good.
and Ach.
Excellent, Reva. Absolutely brilliant. Well done. Volunteer for line 3?
I'll try.
Thank you, Harriet.
He,
Good.
habach,
Habat, because it's got a little
it's a
toe.
T. Habat,
Good.
hazat,
Good.
habech,
Again, it's the T.
habet,
Excellent.
habet, hachev.
Hachet.
Oh gosh, I'm getting the T's confused.
Yeah, the
Hachet,
T. Hachet. Good.
habet.
Excellent. Absolutely excellent. So remember, you've got two T's in Hebrew. The one's got a toe and the other one's got a hole at the top.
Yeah.
But absolutely fantastic. You've got the basic method, Harriet, down very well. Anyone for line 4? Let me do line 4 then, and I'll look for somebody for line 5. Giet, gies, gief, gieta, hiva, and giet. I'll do it again. Giet, gies, hief, gieta, hiva, and giet. Any troubles there, anybody? Any questions? Let's do line 5 together. So if you can all just read it aloud with me.
Okay.
Gadish,
Hadish.
Tadish,
Dish.
Hadish.
Hadish,
Dish.
Hadish.
Dish.
That's it. Gadish, Hadish, Tadish, Hadish, and Hadish. There you go. And then line 6 is kind of similar. Everything is almost a repetition. Any volunteer for line 6? Dad? Brian? Give it a go. Okay, I'll try the first one. Bait,
Date. Date.
date,
Date.
Hate.
hate,
Take.
hate,
Date.
and hate.
Hate.
So you see, they're just getting you now to combine. Just getting you to combine. So the second part of the homework, all right, so I think is on the page, was this one here. So here we have got text that is quite similar and still working with the same letters and the same vowels. But here what they've done is these are all actual real words in Hebrew. These are all real words in Hebrew. So it's quite nice because they're actually words that you will become familiar with as you begin to read Hebrew. So why don't we do it this way? I'll read one line, then I'll look for a volunteer for the next line. Then I'll read the third, then I'll look for a volunteer for the fourth. So line 1. Aviv. Ahev. Az. Ach. Aid. And Esh. Esh. You see, before South Africans started saying Esh, Hebrew said Esh. But in Hebrew, it means something else. In Hebrew, it means fire. Okay. Can I have a volunteer, please, for line 2?
Okay, I'll try.
Thank you. Who's that?
Peter.
Peter.
I didn't realize you were with us. I thought you were. I'm so glad you are. Fantastic. Thank you, Peter. Line 2.
Buzz.
Good.
Bazaar.
Okay. First vowel is
Esh.
the first vowel is E. The sound of
Oh,
that.
E, sorry. Bizarre.
Bizarre. Well done. Bizarre.
Batach.
Good.
Gave.
Excellent.
Gave. Again. Gave.
But look at the difference in vowels.
Yeah, the ones I don't know what they are, but I've forgotten what they're called.
So that one you were right, gave. But
Yeah.
this one sound is simply ah. So it's gav.
Oh, gov. Okay, gave and gov.
Gave.
Okay, so gave and gov, and then bet.
Fantastic. Thank you, Peter. Would you be brave to carry on another little bit?
Okay. Gov.
Good.
Gadish,
Good.
Gabish, no, Gabar,
Geha, with the little hole at the top.
oh, Geha, sorry, Geha,
Geha, because it's got the hole. So if it was the
Ge-
ch, it would be the closed one, then you close your throat. Ge,
I said Geha,
good,
Gaze,
good,
Giza,
good.
Gazes.
Excellent, Peter. Absolutely fantastic. Good. Let me do line 4. Line 4. Diba, daga, ata, dash, date, David. Can you see it's getting harder? Definitely.
Yeah.
Let me do that again. Diba, daga, ata, dash, date, and David. So you can see you're now having to combine lots of things at the same time, and it does get a bit confusing. But if you just remember, all you're doing at any moment is you're combining the letter with the vowel and then moving across. So if you ever get overwhelmed by a word, just look, what is the first letter? What is the first vowel? And just combine them, and then you move across. But you just take it one letter at a time. So it is getting harder, but let me ask if anybody is brave to tackle number 5.
I will.
Okay.
Okay. I think
Thank
2 of us could get you though.
So Reva, let's take you first.
Mhm. He,
Good,
ha'av,
good,
chadid,
Hadid, good,
hav,
excellent,
habet,
excellent,
and haga.
excellent, fantastic. Now, who was the other person who had volunteered?
It's me, Harriet.
Fantastic, Harriet. Let's try number 6.
Can I just ask about a word that Reba said on line 5, 1, 2, 3, 4?
Yes,
Is that ha'av or have?
have. So if it was ha'av,
Ha'av. Why don't you say the vowel at the bottom?
so look at the second word, Harriet. It's a great question that you ask. This word is ha'av. Ha'av. You see that? Because it's got the aleph in the middle, which gives you the second a. So it's ha'av. Now this one.
Sorry, I'm ha'av, right, that one. I'm talking about the fourth one.
So that's ha'av. Now this one
Alright.
is just hav. Have. You see there's no second vowel. So it's just ha is ha, the have.
Oh, okay, okay.
You see how that works? So this one, ha, av, and have.
Oh, the R comes from the second letter in the second one.
That's right, exactly right.
Okay, got it. Okay.
Good. Let's try line 6.
Gavar. No.
Good, but you're right, except it's not a ga. It's the one that.
It's a Z.
Yeah, that's right. So try it again.
Zavach.
Excellent.
Ziba.
Put it all together.
Ziba.
Good. So zibach.
Zibach. Okay.
That's right.
Zahav.
Za.
Have. Zahav.
Good. Zahav. There you go. Zahav. It means gold. Yerushalayim shel zahav. Jerusalem is gold. Zahav.
Ziv.
Excellent.
Zavach.
Zava.
Zavach, was that right? Zavach.
Look at the last letter.
Oh, that's a T. Zavat.
Excellent, Zavat. And
Zavad.
excellent, Zavad. So you can see it's getting harder, but the basic method is exactly the same. That was great. Anybody want to try line 7?
Okay, I'll try.
So Casey,
Z,
good.
sorry, it's gone now. Hibesh,
Excellent, Gibesh.
Chagav,
Good,
Chad,
good,
Ta,
good.
Chag.
Good, Chag, as in?
Sameach.
Like Sameach, that's the one. Chag, it's a festival. Well done, Casey. Good. Chita, line 8. There was another voice.
I'll go.
Thank you. Robs.
Chita,
Good,
chite,
good,
chatat.
good. Now, can everybody see what Robin did there? She just said nothing for the aleph because it's got no vowel. Chatat. If it had a vowel underneath, like say it had another a, it might have been chataat. But there's no vowel, so you simply say chatat. Well done, Robs.
Chashav,
Good.
chadash.
Excellent. So the word chadash, anyone familiar with the word?
Chadash.
Dash.
Chadash. So for example, Rosh Chodesh. Anyone know what
Yes.
Rosh Chodesh is? What's Rosh Chodesh?
Head of the
month.
The new month. That's right. Good. So the word Chadash means new. So the word for month in Hebrew, Chodesh, comes from the word new. So it's interesting because Rosh Chodesh is the beginning of the month. That's when the moon changes over, the beginning of the moon, the first phase of the moon. But you can hear the sort of philosophy of it. The word month is from the word new because it's a new month. So we say Rosh Chodesh, the beginning of the month. Well done there, Robin. Yes.
Before you move on, the third word where you talked about that silent aleph, if you were reading it as poetry, would you pause slightly because it's there?
No.
Like just to like let the air leave your throat without making a sound? You wouldn't.
You wouldn't. You wouldn't. If it was a hey, then I think you got an argument. But the aleph is silent. The aleph is a facilitator of other people. It's a facilitator of the vowel.
And it doesn't have time attached to it.
No.
It doesn't slow the word down by being there.
No.
Okay. Okay.
It's quite unusual in Hebrew. It's quite unusual for it to appear without a vowel. It's quite unusual. So it does happen, but you won't see it often. Anybody want to ask anything or say anything about these lines? As we go on, you know, this is basically how it works now. So we keep adding a letter and then we add a vowel and then we just keep combining. And then you'll say to yourself, my God, what the hell was that letter? Like I remember with the Zion, I like struggled to just get that. So you had to keep going back to the Zion. Yes.
If there are any other words that are interesting for us to have, because I found that a very useful technique.
Great, fantastic.
Have
So
some words. Are there any other words that you think would be nice to have? Not necessarily all of them.
good. There are some. So let's look at a couple of them. So this word, which has this dot that is trying to confuse you up here, is David. David. So that is the word David. David. So, you know, a lot of people make the mistake of writing David with the vet, but in fact, it's written with the vav. David. Let's see what else is nice here. So let's go to the first line. So, can anyone give me an association with this word? The word is Aviv.
Tel Aviv.
Tel Aviv, thank you. Now, the word Aviv means, anyone know?
Spring.
Spring.
Spring, well done. The word Tel, anyone know?
Hill.
Hill.
Good. So what is Tel Aviv?
The hill of
The-
spring.
The hill of spring. The hill of spring. Now let's go on to the second word, because the second word is going to teach us a wonderful lesson, and thanks for suggesting this, Harriet. Let's look at the word first, then I'll tell you what the story of it is. So the word is Ahev.
Ahev Amo Yisrael.
Ahev Amo Yisrael. Very good, Ma. So any idea? Okay, someone else give us another word from the prayer book, which sounds like Ahev.
Ahava.
Ahava. So as in Ahava Rabba Ahavtanu. Now tell me the beginning.
Ahavat Olam.
Ahavat Olam. Good, excellent. Tell me the first letter, the first word we say directly after the Shema. Ve'ahavta. Now, all of those words are derived from this word, ahev. This word ahev is the root of the word for love. Now, the way Hebrew works is in any Hebrew word, you look at the root letters, which are usually the 3 letters in the middle. It can be a bit different. Sometimes it isn't always 3 letters and sometimes it isn't the ones in the middle. But every Hebrew word is based around what is called a root. And the root is generally 3 letters. So,
Well, you just asked something. Does the root, those 3 letters by themselves, have any meaning?
well, they have this meaning of the word, which is love, but
But they have to have the other letters with them.
yes, so they do. So the root itself is like the skeleton. The root itself is like the skeleton. It is absolutely necessary, but it can't walk by itself. It still needs the flesh around it. So your skeleton doesn't help you much if it's only a skeleton. It still needs the brain and the organs and the flesh all around it. So that's what it is. It's like a skeleton. So
No,
here,
I can't resist it. Netanyahu's out.
I heard,
But I can't resist it. Thank you. Thank
Naphtali,
you,
But
Marion.
who's in? But who's in?
yeah, Naphtali Bennett is
Yeah.
more right-wing than Netanyahu. So I don't know what we're in for. Anyway.
But Ben, don't worry, he's with the left wing, and anyway, it's good news. Sorry, I couldn't resist it. Thanks for the message, Marion. Okay.
So
Ahev.
Ahev, thank you. So Ahev. So Ahev is the root of the word love. And then what you do to that root is you add things. You add vowels and you add letters at the beginning and the end, which turn it into a different form. So the noun for love is ahava. So it's exactly that with a hey on the end. Ahava is the noun of love. To love, the infinitive is le'ehov. And the infinitive is always in Hebrew with a lamed at the beginning. Ohev Amo Yisrael, who loves his people Israel. Ahavara ba'ahavtanu, with a great love have you loved us, O God. Va'ahavta.
Can I ask why the vowel changes? Sometimes it's an A and sometimes it's an A. Why would that change when the word means the same?
No, the vowel doesn't, the sound of the vowel doesn't change. It's always ah.
Yeah. Yes. But it's not always the hey.
So different vowels will come in different words, but this vowel will always say ah, and that vowel will always say a. So, but as the word changes, as the word morphs to have different meanings, so it gets different sounds with it, or different vowels, because they're different sounds. So the word va'ahavta is the imperative voice, which is you shall love. It's a command. Va'ahavta, you shall love God. Le'ehov, to love. Ohev, loves present tense. So once you start, when you can read Hebrew, we might even start learning how to speak Hebrew, and the way you learn to speak Hebrew is you take the root of any word and you manipulate it. I think isiZulu is quite similar. You take the root of the word and you add and you subtract and you put this and you put that, and it turns
So
that.
the vowel under the ha does change depending on the tense.
It gets a different vowel, Reva. That vowel doesn't change, but it gets a different vowel. So, even the one here, so the infinitive, le-ehov, all the vowels change. To love, le-ehov.
So all the vowels change, even the A.
All the vowels change. The vowels
Okay.
change, you add things at the beginning, you add things at the end. What doesn't change is the skeleton.
Is the letter. Okay.
3 letters in the middle. Those don't change. So I'm glad that Harriet asked that question, because that's exactly how you learn to speak Hebrew and how you learn to translate. Because if you're sitting in your matric exam and you have no idea what the word means, the thing that you get taught to do is look at the root. Do you recognize the root? Play with the root. What does it tell you? Does it tell you something? Ah, it does. And in this case, that root is I have, the word for love. So I'll just point out one more word and then we'll just use our last 5 minutes just to move on. So the word ata here in the middle. Where have you heard that word?
Ata gibor.
Good. Give me another one. Baruch.
Ata, I don't know.
Exactly. The word ata means you. Baruch ata Adonai. We bless you, God. Ata gibor, you are great. So the word ata means you. And in Hebrew, it's not like, say, in Afrikaans or French. We use the same you, whether we're talking to God or we're talking to another person or we're talking to our cat. So there's no change in the form of the word you, which there is in lots of languages. So that is how the sort of conception of Hebrew words works. And thank you again, Harriet, for suggesting that we just look at that briefly. So now,
Well,
yeah.
there's one more, the bait for a house.
So, your
on line 2, the last one, bait.
That's right. Thank you very much. Thank you, Marian. So the word bait here means house, as in Bethlehem. Bethlehem. So our surname, Bethlehem, Bethlehem, means
house of bread.
You all know the word lechem. Hamotzi lechem min haaretz, who brings forth bread from the earth. Beit lechem, the house of bread. So that is the word bait over there. So I think what we should do now, that brings us to the end of that particular chapter. So I just want to anticipate in the last couple of minutes where we are going to go next, but I'm not going to try and actually teach these because it's a bit late now, it'll be too difficult. But what we are going to do in lesson 4, which is where we're going to go next week, is we are going to learn 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 new letters. So it is rather important that you try and consolidate the ones that you've already learnt. So the way to consolidate the ones that you've already learnt is to go to page 22 and 21. 21 and 22 is to go to those pages and make sure that you can read all of those lines. And again, I'll post them correctly and then see if you can read them as I read them. And if you're reading something different, then look at it again or give me a call. But it is rather important for you to consolidate up to the end of lesson 3, because lesson 3 is a lot. And now we are going into lesson 4. And in lesson 4, we're going to learn the yud, ya, these 2 letters, the k and the ch, which are like the b and the v, in that the k, it's like being kicked in the tummy with a ball. You make a hard sound, k, b, In the absence of that, you have a soft sound, ch, just like you had a soft sound, the. So these are actually variations of the same letter. In Hebrew, they're considered one letter, but with a dot, it's k. Without a dot, it's ch. Then we're going to learn.
Same as the other ch. It's the same sound you made.
Same sound, same, exactly, Reba, that's exactly right. So we've already learned two viz, the vet and the vav. We've learned two tis, the tet and the taf. Now we're learning two chiz, the chaf and the chet. So yes, that is a funny thing in Hebrew, that there are several letters that they have exactly the same sound, but that look different. And again, you have the pattern of harder and softer, dot, no dot. So yeah, k, ch. Then this beautiful letter over here is the lamed. It's a long letter, the lamed. And this is the mem, the m, which has a hole at the bottom. Before we had one that had a hole at the top. Now we've got one with a hole at the bottom, and it's a m. So next week we are going to learn those. But just to remind you, you've already learned Aleph, Bet, Vet, Gimel, Dalet, He, Vav, Zayin, Chet, Het, Shin, and Taf. So you have learned, you've already learned a lot, right? And you've learned A, E, A, and A. So you've already learned a lot. And now in this lesson, you're going to learn another 4 or 5, depending on how you see it, letters. And I think we are also going to get one new vowel in this particular lesson. So it is important that before we go on to lesson 4, please try to make sure that you have mastered up to the end of lesson 3. From there, you will see after lesson 4, wow, you will be reading a lot of Hebrew, and there actually isn't all that much further to go. So homework, please consolidate lesson 3. Next week, we push on to lesson 4. We learn 5 new letters and a new vowel, and off we go.
Lael, a stupid remark, forgive me, but why the hell can't the hard be a soft instead of a
So
sorry.
that's a question I can't answer. What I can tell you is that that's a ka and that's a cha. As to why,
At one stage, I was told that was from the Yiddish as well, because the Yiddish is very hard. Ch comes in.
Yeah,
often.
but it's a cheek. It should be a soft ka.
yeah. But of course,
Never
Yiddish
mind.
is derived from Hebrew, right? So the Yiddish script is Hebrew,
Oh,
but
yeah, the other way around. Yeah.
German and all of that. Yeah. Any other comments or questions, everybody?
I'm just a bit
Even in
confused
English.
between this B and the B and the K.
Okay, so let's look at that. So the K is just like a little round shape here. You see that?
Nadal is a well-loved champion.
Yeah.
Whereas the B,
Tested.
it sounds like the tennis. We think we might know who that might be. So can you see the B? The B has got a longer sort of flat line at the bottom. So you are right, Harriet, they look alike, but the B and B has got like a flat line at the bottom which protrudes. Whereas this one, where is it now? This one is just like a rounded shape. So it's like really just a shape you could make with your fingers. The other one, you've got the longer line across. But you are anticipating correctly, because what we're going to see in the new lesson is they tell us about things that look alike, what they call lookalikes. They've got lookalikes and sound-alikes.
Okay.
Here's the lookalike, it's B and K. But you can see that the B has got the longer, flatter line at the bottom.
It's got like a little tail that sort of goes off.
That's
at
right.
the top. Okay. All right. Got it.
Bends. Sorry. It was the line, whereas this one is just like a round. So that's That's next week's challenge, is to learn these. Until we get to lesson 4, please make sure that you are on top of lesson 3. Any other comments or questions?
Oh, that's good.
Lael,
Thanks, Lael. Thank
No,
you.
all good. Thanks, Lael.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks,
Anybody
Lou.
got any confusions or wants to go over anything, you really, really are most welcome to drop me a WhatsApp or give me a call. See you next
Thanks, Lael.
week.
So
Thank you
lovely.
very much.
Thank you so much, Lael.
See you next week.
Bye.
It's really
See
fun.
many of you next week and see others of you on Friday night. Jacob will be announcing tomorrow what's happening this Shabbat Friday and Saturday morning. Shabbat. Thank you, Leo. Thank you, everyone. Hashem bless
Thank you,
you.
everybody.
Shavua tov. Laila tov a lot.